Hello.
Hello, it's good to see you in person.
I know. It's been way too long.
It's been way too long.
I think it's been like 3 weeks yet. 4, 3.
3?
Something like that.
I think 3. So, what did you get up to today?
What have I been doing? Well, I've just been working.
Yeah.
And then I was like to James, no, I have to get this done. I have to get that done. And I was like, come a bit later. And then I was like, you know what? No, I need to balance this work life and personal life.
Yeah.
And just because someone clicks their heels, so to speak, doesn't mean I have to jump. I have my valuable time too. So I was like, yeah, James, just come. Like,
Yeah.
whatever, we'll just
Get it done.
get it done. And then we had a good chat. There's something about not doing this like over Zoom, isn't it? And like just face to face human interaction.
I feel like it's easier.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know how to record. And
Yeah.
I think so too. There's something about it. How was your week?
Yeah, really good. Obviously, it's been a Leo full moon. So, it's been
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yes,
been a bit heavy.
Yeah, I would say for me as well. Valentine's Day. Christ. You should have seen me. I was
Tell me
another
about it.
level. I was literally like, I went on social media in the morning.
Yeah.
Then I dropped it.
Yeah.
And then I was just in a crap mood. And then I was crying. And then I'm just like, why are you crying? And then I snapped out of it. And then I put on something worse off than myself. Like when I was a teen, and I've been considering going back to the show, but I used to watch The OC religiously, if you know me well.
Yeah.
You know,
So, go to.
The OC. So I started watching another episode, an old episode of Euphoria again. People worse off than me. I felt better. Problem solved. And then I woke up the next day and I was the happiest person. You know, you just have that really crap day and it's pure bliss like afterwards.
So I basically came home and went to the shops. I brought myself some flowers, brought myself a bottle of champagne, brought myself
did.
ice cream, brought myself chocolate, brought myself some food, cooked myself a dinner, sat down, watched Euphoria, and felt really good.
Yeah.
And
That's what I should have
just
done.
really think that it's important, like we always say, is to check in with oneself. And just because like you don't have someone, why not make it an opportunity to have an awesome time by yourself?
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what I kind of did.
100%.
Like I was feeling a little bit flat, so I think that's why I did it. But then I was just like at work, I was just like, no, stuff you guys. I'm just like, yeah, you've got partners, and a lot of them didn't do, some of them didn't do stuff with their partner, or their partner did a lot. So like Chris cooked his missus like a 3-course dinner and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So he did a lot. And
It's
then,
either
like,
one or
him-
the other, isn't
yeah.
it? It's either nothing or extreme.
Yeah.
Like,
It's one or the other. And I was just like, no, I think it's important for me this year to
take care of you.
yeah, take care of me. And I just kind of had a ball.
Yeah. I messaged you. I'm
Strawberries.
like, how's it going? Yeah. And you're just...
I was at another level, when you just
Yeah.
I lit the candle, so my candle was going with the owl there, had the chibi set up, had my
That's
my
really
dinner with my little burger, and then had my chocolate set up, had my rice crackers and my hummus dip, had my ice cream in the freezer.
He had a spread.
Had my what do you call it? Pink with a strawberry in it. And I was just like, no. And then like some flowers in the back, and I was just like, it's really important, I think, to what's the word? Not let
The weight of...
expectations of what someone else has to do for you.
Yeah.
You have the power
To do it yourself.
to do it yourself. And I was just like, by the way, Jess, is it okay if I pay you? I need to pay you, that reminded me. But the podcast, and you're like, yeah, that's fine. You're probably like, what's another shit days? Give me the money.
Give me the money so I can buy these chocolates now.
But I just,
No, I
like,
just
went on a
remembered.
spending spree pretty much.
Yeah.
And I just had no regret.
Sometimes you just need to. You did. You went on a spending spree.
And I just tapped it, and I was just like, you know what? Like, I need this right now. And then watching Euphoria and seeing how messed up relationships and people are.
When it's the wrong dynamic. That show proves that point. When it's the wrong dynamic in friends, relationships, even with relationship with parents, it's just
something so true when someone says you're not right for me.
Yeah. Where it's not a reflection of you as a person. It's just we're not a good match and it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's that whole thing, like, it's interesting watching these characters and how many times I've been a Cassie, how many times I've been a Maddie, how many times I've been a Nate at some point, and you're just like, and then you're just like, no, you should look at it from that way. And then you realize you need to project that onto yourself and to remember to do it. I think that's what I've like, even like this previous episode, which I won't say, but there's a character called Cassie, and we've all been there. We've all been what cat besides the porn. But we've all been the insecure person. And I think it's important to remember that you are just as important. So well done, James.
I think like, what's the word? Why not? I think that show reminds us that we are all deeply flawed and that you should be able to be the master of your fate, I guess, kind of situation. I was just like, am I just gonna like sit at home and not have a really good time, or do I go out, grab the essentials of the things that like really do bring me joy and comfort and enjoy them? And speaking of that, I lit that candle and it's got a scent of orange. And
What, the candle I got you?
no, this is a new candle I brought because that candle's almost done. It's like down to its last little thing.
That's cool.
So this one's an orange and
Come into the shot. What am I doing?
orange and ginger.
Oh, that's nice. That's right up your alley. I can see you liking that.
Yeah, so I think that you need to get in touch with yourself sometimes, and I think what better way for that than to basically indulge.
Yeah. It's knowing the balance, yeah. Sometimes you can get... I remember once...
where you're doing it and it's not a, like, what's the word? When you're doing it all the time, it's like you're overindulging. It's just like, this is no longer a thing that you're doing, what's the word?
Yeah.
In a healthy, balanced kind of way.
It's like I used to go to like Dan Murphy's or like the cheesecake shop, and I used to just buy on repeat alcohol or cheesecake, and then I'd be like, but I'm not enjoying it now. Like the novelty has, where you need to have that space. If you're doing it in order to get happy, you have a problem.
That's true.
So it's just addressing that.
Yeah, that's actually true though. But is it a problem though if it brings you joy?
Not in excess though.
Yeah, that's true.
Not excessively. If I have to do this in order to be happy, like if it's
that's
like on that level, nah. But if you do it every once a month, or even if it's once a week or every once in a couple of days, you have to not lie to yourself. And I think a lot of people have trouble doing that.
Well, last night I did something cheeky.
What did you do?
I finished the rest of the bottle from the previous night. And then I was just like, it was like 10 o'clock and I'm like, oh, it's a Leo full moon. I'm just going to go get another bottle.
Yeah.
So I went downstairs and I got like another bottle and I was like up to like
I love it.
I was just watching Hotel Portofino.
Oh, is that good?
Yeah, it's like, it's really good in terms of it's like a, what's that famous Downton Abbey, but set in Croatia in the 1920s.
Really? That sounds right up my alley.
And just really fun and just colourful and Europe and summer.
Yeah.
And just, you know, fun kind of vibe and just the colours of it. So
That's really nice.
yeah. So obviously
like it.
smells
True.
are really triggering. So there's some smells out there that can be very much a repulse. So one of the smells that repulses me is the smell of cigarette and people's fingers who've been smoking.
Oh, I know. And they sit next to you and you can tell. And they try to... You know what's worse than that is when you can smell the Listerine or like the aftershave, and it highlights even more the cigarette smell.
Yes.
And you're just like, I know you're trying, but you're failing because now I can smell it even more as an after smell.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not the first note, but it's like now in the background.
It's like, it's fresh. Like,
yeah.
That's worse. When people actually try like to hide it.
I think it does make it worse.
They're like, what? I haven't done anything. Like I've taken my.
Also, when like someone has a mint smell, I'm just like, what are you trying to hide?
Yeah.
I think that's a very interesting kind of.
A mint.
Yeah, so that's one smell that kind of repulses me.
Yeah.
You know the smell of like off milk?
Yeah. Don't even get me started. I've got a story. I don't think it's really bad.
How would you describe it?
I think worse than that is I've been covered in my friend's breast milk. My goddaughter, Peyton. I had to feed her every once in a while when she was a baby.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. I never thought I would be covered in someone else's breast milk, because whenever I would hold her, not in an awkward way, just normally, she'd always just spew on me, not her mother, not anyone else, just me. And it's that. And then I had to drive home. And it's just that when you're driving at like the afternoon and the sun hits, like you just want to die. Like it's so bad.
It's magnifying the smell.
That, you know what I hate too? The smell of pee. Whether it's dog, human, I don't, of course, but ew. Or like when you're in the car and you check in your shoes and there's like a shit smell and you just don't know where it's coming from. And so you're checking all the shoes, there's nothing and you don't know where it is. That's the worst. I think that's worse than if a spider was to like crawl up like next to you. I think that is the worst.
Nothing worse when you've stepped in a dog turd, you haven't realised, and then you go back inside and the space is contained.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh wait, there's this stench coming. Oh shit. Oh. And then you're like, oh, you're looking on the floor. There's like the marks of the dog.
And now you have to go on your knees and clean that shit as well.
Yeah. Like, and then it just lingers and lingers and lingers and lingers, and you can't. Like, you've cleaned it, but it's just lingering.
It's so bad.
Air.
It's so bad.
You know, another smell that, like, I wanted to touch on today is, you know, like, on a really, really hot summer's day where the tar from the road is, like, smouldering up into a smell.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the oils and, like, the car and the pollutants have been, like, basically sizzled and fried up. So there's like this kind of oveny, chemical, oily kind of smell.
I can't.
But I really like that when, you know, the rain comes.
Yeah.
And
the balance.
Sizzling.
I've never actually.
Have you never smelled that?
No.
It's absolutely interesting because
James is like...
It kind of changes the complexity of the smell, because it's not, because obviously water on that smell, you would think is trying to it doesn't mask it. It kind of just changes
the dynamic
of it, and then you're kind of like, ooh, it's actually a pleasant kind of freshness when it was so, not. But also, I like the smell of petrol, so maybe that's...
I can't do that, but I like the smell of markers.
Markers?
Yeah, like...
I'm not really... That kind of takes me off.
I don't know, I like that, but I can't stand, like, petrol.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a weirdo. I like petrol.
I like, I used to be a very vanilla-y...
I love vanilla. Like vanilla bean?
I don't know, now I think I've changed, where if I want to light a candle... I used to go to like berries, vanilla, this, that, and everything, where now I want a fresh smell or I want a seaside ocean smell. I need something to be like
a misty, like salty kind of.
But when I'm out, when I'm at home, I'm like that. But when I go out, I would like a vanilla sort of smell.
Yeah. When, like when they say, oh, it's a sea spray smell, and then you smell it, and it just smells like chemical.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this does not remind me of
It's
the
kind of like
beach.
when you have salted caramel and they completely stuff it and you can only taste salt. But there's a balance, and very rarely do you find the perfect balance. I feel like with donuts or anything, or if you go to the pancake parlor, they never get it right. And I'm just like, you say it's salted caramel, it's caramel, or it's salt. There's a good balance that should be there.
Yeah.
There needs to be a balance. But yeah, fresh and oceany is what I would go for.
I love citrus.
Yeah. I recommended James and whoever else likes blood orange and citrus to actually try Tom Ford's bitter peach. It's $300. You can get tester, but I think that's right up your alley. Patchouli, citrus, burnt peach.
Spicy.
Yeah.
I do like a spicy kind of note. Like something that kind of like cinnamony or I guess
it's
some
like you and
chilliness.
peppermint. I can't stand peppermint.
Really?
But my diffuser right now, I have to have peppermint because it just calms me down when I'm working. So there's certain moments, like if I were to just relax, I wouldn't put peppermint. But I'd put eucalyptus. I don't know how it works.
I love butter mint.
Oh,
There's something
that
about
I never tried.
butter and mint that just works so well with each other. And it's like a buttery kind of saltiness but warmth to it that is so cool. And then there's also the element of the butter, which is, kind of like a burnt kind of butter. Mm-hmm. And then it's counteracting the mint. So it's kind of like this sweet and sour. But also I love peppermint ice cream with chocolate.
I know.
That gets me
stand
so
it.
easily.
Yeah, every single time, isn't it? Yeah.
I brought the panna one, the panna organic.
Yeah.
With the coconut milk, because it's obviously the vegan option, and I was worried how they were going to make peppermint work without any of the dairy,
the mix,
and everything. But I actually how sometimes coconut can be so overwhelming that
I love
nothing that you can do is going to get me this chopped peppermint taste. And I had it and I was like,
it was the balance.
I was like, wow, they actually did a pretty damn good job. And it had spirulina in it and all that kind of stuff,
wow.
To get obviously the color and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously peppermint oil to get the peppermint taste. I know it was really well balanced. I was pleasantly surprised. The other notes...
Foresty, that's kind of fresh. Is that even a scent? Forest. I
do think there is something though in a forest.
When you're wandering and you're just like...
It's like all the plants, the
how
bark.
do you explain? The bark, the plants, the leaves, the bristles. I can smell it now, yeah.
Yeah. Pine has a very distinct...
I like pine.
Smell. So does bark.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. You can't describe it really, but it's nice. What else?
Leather.
It depends on the mood, I would say. Where, I have a leather bag, and sometimes I can't even sit near it because I could smell it from afar.
Yeah.
And some days I'm like,
other days, no.
Yeah. Like vanilla, I'm like that too. It's the same thing. It depends. Otherwise, I'll feel sickly.
Too much vanilla.
Too much.
I haven't really gone back into vanilla milkshakes. I used to be very much a chocolate person.
That's with age though, isn't it? I used to be obsessed with, now Easters and whatnot, I'm just like, I'll just have a small egg, thanks. I can't be bothered with chocolate. And I never thought that would be possible.
Yeah. I think another smell that I like is the smell of it will come to me. The smell of apple crumble.
Like the artificial or like the fresh? There's something about a Sunday morning or something and I can smell it.
I think because it's so profound in the oven that it's concentrated that smell. So I think it's like most things in the oven. You open it up and you get a waft of like
because it's been compressed
thing,
in there, and then it goes.
And it's been
like,
cooking.
Yeah.
And there's something about like the roasted nuts with the sugar and the cinnamon and like the allspice.
It's like
and the
refreshing.
anise.
Yeah.
And then like just the freshness of the apple as well, but it's been, you know, obviously cooked. So there's like this burntness
simmering
to there. And then it comes out and you're like, ooh, okay, wow, there's like something very much here. And then the ice cream as it melts over it with the notes of
oh my god,
vanilla
stop. I can like
and bean.
picture it right now.
And then
you know what I like? White linen. They do a spray at dusk. I have it in my room and I always spray it on my linen. It's fresh.
Lavender.
No, it's something else. Like I can't actually put my finger on it as to what it is. But it's so it's kind of like when
and roses.
Lavender and roses is nice. Like a good rose when it's not super concentrated is nice. But this, like, it's called white linen and you can buy it at dusk.
Is it like
There's
really?
something else. Let me get it. You keep talking, James.
I think another really good thing is probably, what was it? I forgot what I was going to say. I haven't been saying it.
This is it. So for people that are watching on YouTube, dusk linen spray.
Let's have a look. Caution. Doesn't actually tell you.
Yeah, it's hard. It smells like linen when you just wash your linen and you open the laundry. Like here. It's a bit really concentrated in the bottle, but when you just spray, like it's just, I don't know if you can smell that.
Yeah.
It's just right. It's not too sickly, and it's just.
It's basically the smell
I love
of.
it.
It's basically the smell of like the chemicals.
I love it, man.
That have washed your clothes, and it feels like it's washed. It's been cleaned.
It's properly done. Like when you go to a hotel.
Yeah.
Sort of that when you walk in and you're just like.
I
love
guess
it.
It's got a smell of like, you know, what's the concentration a lot of time? It kind of gave me a little subtleness of like eucalyptus.
Yeah, that refreshing.
Not overwhelming.
Yeah,
like
it's not lavender.
Chemical.
It's I would say eucalyptus.
Yeah.
But it's just right.
It has the element of just, we've just washed our sheets, you've opened up the thing and you're hanging them on the line and there's that chemical
that's strong
fragrance
but fresh
of like this is now been I guess sanitized and like cleaned, so like you're ready now to hang it on the line and there's that
watch it dry,
the residue of I guess
the chemicals.
I
love it, but I love it. I sprayed on my pillows, I sprayed on my sheets just a little bit. See, I've only used just a tiny bit, and I've had this for like 3 months now.
Pretty nice. Just gonna be sniffing.
I love it. But yeah, I also like Daisy by Marc Jacobs because it smells fresh, but a tiny bit.
So good.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Daisy by Marc Jacob. It's fresh, but with a little bit of flowery sort of a scent.
What's the best candle you've ever brought with the scent? And if you were to create a perfume, what are some of the notes that you would have in yours?
I would say like the best one, I went to a candle party where she was just like, this was about like 9 years ago, but that's the first thing that came to mind now. And this chick made her own candles and she was having a candle party and we went and it was this fresh linen. It was something like this spray, fresh linen, sort of a smell, but when you go down the candle, the base of it was vanilla. So after a while you got that and it was just delicious.
That was
so
good.
I would recreate that. Fresh ocean with a hint of vanilla at the bar. I'd do something with the base like that. I don't like the wooden wicks. There's something, I don't know, sometimes it's calming, sometimes it's just annoying when it makes those noises, but I can see how it's calming with the wooden wick. But I'd have a nice soy candle with a normal wick. And you can actually talking about this, Kmart has just released stuff where you can go to, when you go to the arts and crafts section, you can create your own candles. So there's also a kit, but there's also, you can buy all things individually. Like they have the wicks, then they have the to cut the wick, like the long tool, and then they have the base, and then they have this, and they have that, and they have the scents. So you can actually create, it's actually quite a big section of Kmart, like all this candle stuff.
Yeah.
But
the best candle I ever got was a soy candle from this really like stall place that was just temporarily in Frankston in the middle. I think they actually still have candles there, and it's soy. It was soy based.
That Heart Co something.
I think so.
Opposite like Forever New or something.
I think so.
Yeah.
Is it still there?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
so
Because I like
basically-
that joint too.
So basically, I was smelling and smelling and smelling and smelling, and I was just like, this one's the best. Like, I was probably there half an hour, and the lady's just like, are you like, what's
You're gonna choose?
You gonna
What
choose?
are you gonna do? Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I want to be certain. Anyway, I was smelling, and then I finally settled on one, and I was like, this is the smell, and I feel like when it's burnt, it's gonna smell nice. You know, like you got to understand that the smell, because it's like obviously the oils and everything, it's going to change complexity when it's being burnt.
Yeah.
So I was like smelling it, and I was like, imagine this being burnt. Are you gonna like it? Because sometimes you can smell them, and then when it's burnt, you're like,
Yeah, or it doesn't smell like it.
Yeah.
The worst thing that can happen is when you buy an expensive candle and you get halfway through and then it doesn't smell anything for the rest of it. That's the worst thing you can do to a human being.
So the best scent I ever had was, I think it's the Heart Co one. It was lychee and guava.
Nice.
Lychee and guava.
I love guava.
And the balance of those two together, and the scent the whole way through, like you said, all the way through burning, and left the smell. Like you could smell it in the whole house and everything. And I was just like, wow, it really does complement. Lychee is such a sweet smell, and guava, if you've had guava, it's often paired with something sweet because it's more subtle.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's
so
perfect. That does sound
intense.
perfect.
And I was just like,
I might go
wow.
get that now.
And I was just like very surprised, shocked, but also when it was burnt, I was just like, it magnified the smell and it made it more complex than when you just smelt it ordinary.
Aw, that's good. You know, one big stuff up during lockdown, I bought a candle on Amazon and I paid a decent amount of money for it, and it came. And I was just like, did they stuff up on my order? And I ordered like the really small one, like the baby one. And I spent like a lot of money because I didn't read the bloody thing properly. But damn, did it lasted one day only. And it was pure bliss. So if only I bought the big one, which I didn't. But yeah. Oh, smells. I love it. There's nothing you can't beat after it rains though. That fresh. I always like, it was raining yesterday here and I opened the window immediately afterwards and it's like,
Yeah.
you can hear the rain and then you have that fresh smell. Like life doesn't get any better than that. It's great.
Also like spring days.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're like driving and you get that. Even our neighbor just took down the jasmine bush that's been growing there for years. There's something about twilight, and then you can smell that during the summertime. It was like, so now because they took it down, because it was tearing our fence down, we have to get that fence fixed. We actually now have like a jasmine tree growing, so I'm waiting for that to bloom so I can experience the same thing.
Yeah,
but jasmine's lovely. You had jasmine tea. Yeah.
It's really good.
Was it strong? Jeez Louise, it was going through my nose. I don't know.
I can just smell the room spray now. But I had
It's just a tiny bit, isn't it?
And
It's
I'm like,
amazing.
I think I sniffed it up.
It's literally like $10. It was $10 during Boxing Day.
I'm just like, would I buy it myself personally? Probably
Well,
not.
now. They have
me,
different
it's
ones
just like,
though.
I love the smell of fresh linen, but It's very, like, I think I just sniffed way too much. I feel like I've got, like, the residue, you know, like, hanging down your nostrils to
And
your
it gets to a point where when I don't spray, I'm like, oh, it's bare.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that flew by.
Yeah.
One second. What would be your candle?
My candle?
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that because I've always felt like it's so cool how you can have such a complexity of smell. And I really like how complex some people are making their candles.
Where it's like 5 different things instead of just the 2.
And I thought about it and I was just like, how would I want to create a candle to represent things? So I thought about like all the elements to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd want the smell of fresh rain, like when it's just rained. I would want a citrus note, probably kumquat, because it's got a bit of sour, sweet kind ofness to it. Then I want brown sugar, a brandy kind of smell, like a little bit of an alcohol kind of smell, and then like a little bit of a champagne-y kind of smell too. Brandy, champagne, sugar, citrus, and what was it? Rain.
Yeah. That's cool.
All together.
I like it. Why not?
Another smell that I really like, which I was like, oh, you're going a bit overboard, is like obviously the smell of what's it called? The smell of
You're trying to visualize it.
yeah, the smell of it's Turkish delight.
Ah, I love Turkish delight.
Like that
Oh,
jelly
God,
kind
yeah.
of smell.
When you unwrap that and the fresh ones, I love it. That's a good one.
Also like an almondy oaty kind of smell with like
I love
banana,
almond essence
with banana.
with cake. Almond essence, there's something when it bakes in a cake and you're just like...
And vanilla.
Yeah, and vanilla. But yeah, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us. And
Thanks for having me.
of course, James. And we'll see you later for another episode of James and Jess's Half Hour.
Yay.
Bye.